Today's newspapers are replete with stories about Elon Musk taking over Twitter. We know how turbulent that journey has been. Elon Musk, out of a whim, announced one day that he would like to make radical changes in Twitter if he owned it. He just sent out a proposal that created ripples. Lot of investors in Twitter strongly reacted to it. They resisted Musk taking it over. Then the Tesla boss increased the stake. He raised the price and made it so attractive that the original investors could not just deny this offer. Agreements were signed. But soon after, Musk developed cold feet. He felt he was overpaying for it. And he began the body of bots and insisted that if he doesn't get a clear picture about the bots, he would not take up this purchase. But the Twitter management forced his hand, took him to the court, and the court absolutely insisted that he has to close the deal in 3 weeks. Yesterday was the last day of that week, and we all know, we saw in video, how Elon Musk, with all the dramatics that he is capable of, entered the Twitter headquarters, fired the top 4 executives, and sent out a tweet: the bird has been freed. Well, the bird has been freed. But what does he do now? Musk says that he wants to make Twitter a common digital town square, common digital public square. Well, Twitter has that been always. The power profile, be it the political elite, economic elite, social elite, everyone of any consequence, they are all on Twitter. They have massive following there. Well, the number of tweeters are maybe less than that of members or followers of Facebook or Instagram. But in terms of the profile, every political leader, every corporate leader tells the world what they feel only through the tweets. And that's the reason why the Twitter following is a marker of success of a political leader or a professional of any consequence. If that is the case already, how can Elon Musk change its character? Well, he says that Twitter has been largely a left liberal platform. It has been cold shouldering the rightist point of view. But if he would like to see that Twitter becomes a platform for every point of view, he says, banning Donald Trump was unpardonable. Donald Trump had not, he says, asked for an armed revolt. Only anticipating that he would do it and banning him for life shows that the Twitter's ideological bias. Now that Musk has taken it over, maybe it's possible that Donald Trump will return to Twitter, although he has himself founded Truth Social and he says that which has a million strong followers and he is happy with it, he may not come back. But must this insistence on free speech absolutism, how will it reconcile with various governments which want to clamp down on all dissident activity? Take the case of the government of India. Twitter, pre-Musk Twitter, was already in a tense battle with the Indian government. Indian government wanted many Twitter accounts which were critical of the government, critical of the state, to be taken down. Twitter's position was, we will take down specific tweets which are against the law, but not the entire account. Account level takedown would warrant very big crime, established crime, without which there will be an interference in free speech. But the government of India has been insistent on it, and that's why that Twitter has in fact dragged the government of India to the court. The matter is sub judice. How will Musk handle it? Will he carry the battle further, or will he cave in? There is a fear that he might cave in, because unlike the original founders of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk is a businessman. In order to do his business, he has to curry favor with the government. If he doesn't bow down, his business may suffer. Take the case of Amazon chief Jeff Bezos. He was the number one a few years ago, richest man in the world. He bought Washington Post, and everyone thought Washington Post is a huge media platform and he would be able to leverage it for his business advantage. But in fact, Washington Post turned out to be an albatross around his neck. When in India there were a lot of issues that were coming up, Washington Post carried a series of stories showing the abuse of human rights in our country. The government of India was livid. And that's why when Bezos visited India, his Amazon has a huge presence in this country. No government official, no minister, let alone prime minister, was ready to meet him. No one of any consequence. In fact, a senior minister tweeted that if Bezos wants audience in this country, then he must not vilify this country. He must stop his newspaper from creating a vilification campaign against India. That is the time the executive editor of Washington Post responded, saying that the news stories and opinion pieces, news stories are based on absolute facts. If the government of India wants to negate any fact, it's free to do so and will publish with great responsibility. And opinion pieces are the opinions of the respective writers and they have no control over it. And that executive editor made another strong point. Bezos may be the owner of the newspaper, but he has no business, no authority to tell us which news to carry, which news to drop. That's a pure editorial decision. So, that's where this Bezos was at a disadvantage. His business certainly suffered for quite some time. If Musk wants to expand his Tesla business into India, he may have to mollycoddle the government of the day. The government of the day, it may not be only the BJP government as it exists today. It may be a Congress government which might come to power. Or it may be a Khichdi government. All these governments, look at Mamata Banerjee in Calcutta, in West Bengal. Nobody wants any dissent. Her government arrested a cartoonist because he made a cartoon critical of the TMC leader. And remember KCR, TRS, who is paying for the blood of the BJP today, himself, when some journalists had raised critical issues about his government, he had said, I'll dig 5 feet deep and bury these critical journalists in the ground. So, governments, leaders of all hues are autocratic. They do not want an opposition, a critical opposition point of view to undermine them. In this situation, Elon Musk has certainly a very difficult challenge ahead, how to deal with such situations.